It's simple with epidemic sound. Discover more than 35,000 tracks and
Trillion thoughts, baby. Come on. 2 trillion thoughts with GRIFF. 2 trillion thoughts, baby. He's got thoughts from the west side, and he took it all the way to the east side. Everybody just feel the vibe. Now say 2 trillion thoughts, baby. Let's talk about it. Gotta talk about it. Let's think about it.
What's cracking? It's your boy GRIFF. Now, I know y'all like GRIFF. Why 2 trillion thoughts? Because all my everything is 2 trillion. You know what I'm saying? The number 2, the word trillion. I'm getting it in, babe. You see me out here. So it's just me and my thoughts, chopping it up from thoughtful, thought-provoking people all around the world. Today is no different. A couple things I want to go over before I say anything about my guests or anything like that. How was your day? You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Like, how was your day? Like, did you get it in today? Let me tell you something. My wife and I, for the last 32 days, and I'm counting, in 32 days, I done lost 14 pounds, which ain't really nothing to me, but all the women around me, Erica and TJ and Lanika's like, that's a lot. I wish I could lose. That's 2 dress sizes. Don't know what a dress size would do, but now I can appreciate it. I'm going to be 50 on September 30th. 50, I think I'll show myself. 50, half a hundred, half a century, everything you could think of, right? I'm going to be 50 years old, and I just know a lot of people have passed. A lot of my friends have passed. A lot of people that I know have died young, and I just don't want to be 50 and out of shape and can't do nothing. So I was really practicing for this 5K that was supposed to be in Plano, Texas. What up, Jalen? How you, little homie? But they canceled it because of COVID. You know, COVID is changing our lives, and I don't think any of us would have thought it would have been like this right now. But it's fine, because you know what? My God don't change his mind. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, I said. Sometimes you got to say it twice just in case the spirit don't feel that first Hallelujah. Jalen, tell your mom I said what's happening, man. Okay, so all the things that's going on this week. Have y'all seen or listened to the Kanye West Donda CD? What up, Keish? Keisha Abraham is one of my best friends. I turned 50 September 30th. She turned 50 in November. Like, we doing this. You understand me, Keish? We out here, Keish. We out here now. 50 is about Keisha looks amazing, and I just want to be like Keisha when I grow up. Always have. She been like the coolest girl. Keisha had the longest curl in the 7th grade. Keisha had the freshest curl in San Jose. Like, it's a fact. Like, I'm not just because she my best friend and everything. Keisha had the freshest curl. She had the bangs. Everybody was like, what's up with you and Keisha? I would go, ugh! All right. Have you heard the Kanye West Donda? Because of copyright infringements, and you know how Facebook and YouTube and Instagram just been turning people's music off. You can't even have a fun TikTok without. Anyway, they're not going to put me in Facebook jail over something I said. And Lanika and what's that girl I was just talking about? Keisha, they are Scorpios. So they got this little thing they do with their Scorpio tail. They go, tss, tss. It's very annoying and funny at the same time. But I'm glad my best friend loved my wife, and Keisha loved all the people I love. So that's all good. Kanye, Donda, supposed to come out for a month. Didn't come out. Finally came out. Let me tell y'all something. That young man right there has it together. That's all. It's 1 hour and 49 minutes of music. The production from beginning to end, it is a complete masterpiece. He will be nominated for at least 6 Grammys, at least, like, quote me. And what is this, September? The Grammys is in February. Quote me. Kanye West is the one. He just broke all these records on Apple Music and everything else. So shout out to Kanye. All right, now let's talk about sports real quick. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about them. Raider Nation forever. Big shout out to my homeboy Nigel Leak that I grew up with, who started a Madden tournament, not a Madden tournament, but a Madden league. So if you was on the PlayStation 4, you could pick a team and play with, who your favorite team is. Nigel sucks so bad because he the commissioner, but he gonna keep the Raiders and don't even give nobody an option. So, don't nobody want to be in your hashtag Me Too football league, Nigel. You the same Nigel. Same. I don't care if he a Scorpio. Step on Nigel. Hookhead. Same Nigel. Since the 5th grade. Nigel, grow up. What's wrong with you? Then he gonna say Raiders for afterlife, Keish. I said, I'm the one that taught you that, Nigel. He said, you did. He said, and you also taught me done deal. Nice, play too much. So let's talk about football season. Oh, I got one more slot in my fantasy football. If you're a fantasy football fan, Keisha is the one who taught me how to play fantasy football probably 15 years ago. So it was Keisha. Keisha was like, Griff, if you love football, you need to play fantasy football. Now, what Keisha didn't tell me is you can't be all Raider heavy, because I felt, I don't know, I can't beat them people. The Raiders is playing the Broncos and we losing, and then somebody say, a Raider fan say, it's all good because I got the Broncos quarterback on my fantasy. So, I digress. So I had to learn that you do have to pick other teams, and I think I'm going to play that, the one they give you some bread. I can't think of it right. Dual fantasy or something, but I think I'm gonna jump in on that one. Everybody that's in ours, we putting $50 up, so somebody get like, I think it's $600 or something at the end of the season. Yeah, football. Everybody was cut. Cam Newton. Cam. Cam got cut, but Cam will get a job. Everybody's acting like Cam won't get a job. Cam will definitely get a job. They need a quarterback in Houston. Man, the way they doing Deshaun, they ain't have to do Deshaun like that, man. They ain't have to. Yeah, the duel. You know what I'm talking about, Detroit. Shout out to my man Detroit. He just had a birthday a couple weeks ago. That's my guy right there. We getting ready for the $100 for the homie showdown in Atlanta and New Mexico. It's going to be pretty ignorant. That's all I'm going to say. No massage. Yeah, from Deshaun. Deshaun, stop inappropriately touching 22 alleged women. Homie, what's going on? Dude never did nothing, and now he a creep. Now he the McCreep. All right. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my folk that's watching this in other countries. A big deal just happened. I got so many things that's in the works right now. I don't know which one I could tell, which one I can't tell, but I will say this. Somebody overseas is picking up my podcast for I've actually got 2 offers, one in London, one in South Africa. They like my voice, I was told, so, and my content. So excited about that. But great things happening. And you know what's funny? And I just want to tell the people that's watching right now, man, this wilderness that we in, right? This wilderness that we in, God got us, and you gotta believe that. You gotta know that in your soul. Even when your money is low, even when your faith is low, even when everything around you just seems like it's crumbling apart, God got us. Don't be the low self-esteem Egyptians that kept saying, Moses, why you bring us out here? We should have stayed in Egypt and died a happy slave way. Don't be them. Eat this manna. Keep eating this manna. Keep eating this manna of family, this manna of opportunity, this manna of love, and love on your people that's close to you, because people don't have people right here. Now that I'm married, I don't want to be like and they have high-key, low-key try to make me this, but I don't want to be the king of I was alone and now I'm married, and you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be him. Listen, I'm not worried about being turned to margarita salt. I'm following God and being obedient. Oh, yeah, you don't. Yeah. You don't want to be like Lot. No, Lot ain't turned into margarita salt. His margarita salty wife did. How about that? Because she ain't want to listen. Anyway, great things happening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Gotta say what's up to my homeboy, Mike Larry. Mike Larry, day 32, homie. Mike Larry probably set it off. Mike Larry probably, if I'm on day 32, probably 60 days ago, Mike Larry been working out, lost hella weight. Mike Larry got the oldest, the coldest, old school. I mean, I would have thought he was from the West with that fresh. He got a yellow junk, Detroit. His margarita wife, you know, when his wife froze and everybody was like, well, there's no sense in letting this. Let's go put wifey on some fries and some grits, depending on who you are. No, I don't want to get into the grits. I think I put sugar on grits when I was in California. Then I moved to the South and I realized they ain't put sugar on grits. So as long as the grits is good, I don't care what you put on. I actually don't even do this. You can ask my wife. You can ask all my wives for real. I'm not the one that be putting salt on stuff. If my food ain't seasoned enough for me to eat it right there, I'm not going to eat it. How about that? Mike Larry, that's my guy. Okay, y'all. So what you're about to see is my homegirl, Celeste. Celeste Ntuli. That's how you say her name. Even though it's spelled Ntuli, you'll see it. It's pronounced Celeste Ntuli. All my wives. I sound like Solomon just now before he started tripping in the woods in Ecclesiastics. All my wives. How about this? Me and all my wives is cool. talked to my second wife today because we got a kid, and talked to my first wife on her birthday 5 days ago because we got a couple kids. So, and guess what? All my wives talk to each other. All my exes. Not all my wives. That's too much. Anyway, so what you're going to hear in the beginning of this show that's different than the rest of them, you're going to hear what it's going to sound like when they play the audio of my show in another country, especially South Africa for this one. Mike Larry, I'm real proud of you, man. I can't wait to work with you again so we can get some things done. You know, COVID, it's all good. COVID ain't taking this comedy away. COVID definitely ain't taking my joy. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Before I bring her on, for the people just coming on late, you need to hear this score one more time by Mr. Talkbox. It's so ignorant. Hold on, I'm going to let you hear the instrumental first. Mr. Talkbox made that for me. Mike Larry, listen to it with the music, the words though.
2 trillion thoughts, baby. Come on. 2 trillion thoughts. With GRIFF. 2 trillion thoughts, baby. He's got thoughts from the west side. And he took it all the way to the east side. Everybody just feel the vibe. Now say 2 trillion thoughts, baby. Let's talk about it, gotta talk about it. Let's think about it, think about it. 2 trillion thoughts, baby.
That's my dude. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you all the way from South Africa, a big soap star, but a better comedian, man, Miss Celeste Ntuli. 2, 1. Mzansi, what's cracking? It's your boy GRIFF, SA's favorite American. How about that? Mr. I've been to 8 of the 9 provinces, except the North, but I heard nobody really go to the North. Mr. I'm about to ask my next guest for a spanla. Honorary Zulu is what I think I am in my mind. But what a time to be alive. It's an exciting day. Another day with 2 trillion thoughts. You might be asking yourself, why does he call himself 2 trillion thoughts when he need to call himself Mr. Nchebe? No, it's all good. It's all good. No, so all my everything is at 2 trillion. My website is 2trillion.com. The number 2, the word trillion. I've been to SA in the last 12 years, 24 times. I love y'all's country, so it's an honor and a pleasure to be here right here on Touch HD. But enough about me. It's about my guest today. Let me bring her up with the same kind of energy. So in America, we call soap operas, the same thing. Y'all call them soapies. But in America, like an old black lady they call soap opera stories. So you might hear an old black lady from Alabama saying, I'm not going to do nothing today except watch my stories. And what she might be talking about is generations or ISABAYA. But coming to the show today, this is my friend who paid Sipokazi Mtumbe Zungu on the biggest show in South Africa. She is the queen of Zulu comedy. She is a great friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, little kids, everybody, all the provinces, Celeste Ntuli.
Thank you. What a lovely intro. Though the stories is finished.
Right, I felt really good about my spanla. I need a spanla, Celeste. Spanla N and Trevor Goomby keep telling me that they're gonna get me a spawner and we gonna
You know
kill a goat.
what? Once you do that, you are locked in because you don't get those. You don't. So our type of jewelry is not the one where you like, look at me, 14 carats. You have to speak to the ancestors.
Yes.
So once you get this spawner, you are locked in.
I wanna
Somebody
be.
on the other side of the world will know what's up.
I want to be. That's what I'm talking about. Celeste, let's and we're gonna laugh and play this whole show. But you are born and raised in KZN.
Yeah, I'm proper Zulu. I remember when I went to a Laugh Factory and I met Lisa, the comedian, white lady, and she was like, "Oh my God, in my life I've never met someone who speaks Zulu. I was like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm Zulu."
So when you say Zulu, so explain. You had a birthday recently. I know you.
Yeah, I just turned 42.
Let me tell you something. Killing the game. To me, you are the Monique of your country. And when I say Monique, I just mean the class of our American comedian Monique. She's in movies, she's in films, sitcoms, but the people love her the most. And I'm honored. You know, I don't understand all the Burnett comedy, but I do know that you used to talk about big girls and skinny dudes, and you still looking for a skinny dude?
Nah, I'm looking for a very strong one. Because let me tell you something. Actually, it's crazy that you just referenced me to Monique, because I still have the same kind of comedy. But what has enlightened me, because when Monique started losing weight, I think subconsciously big girls in the industry, we get in because of our confidence and who we are, and we don't mind our body. But then eventually you become a president for all other big people. So now, even when you want to change your lifestyle to be a vegan, to lose weight, subconsciously I felt like I'm going to lose some of the fans. And I was like, actually, no, I'm working with punchlines here, not yips, because the COVID nearly killed me. I was on another side of the weight. But now I'm back and I'm healthy and I'm happy. And I think it's one thing that we also need to emphasize. We do those jokes. You need to be comfortable. I still can do those jokes because they were funny. They're still funny at me. It's not like I'm skinny now. But striking a balance between your health and positivity is a much more very important thing when it comes to big girls, more especially Black women. Because I see what was happening with Lizzo, and people had so many comments and stuff to say, because there is that subconscious thing. Black people has been misrepresented in so many ways.
Yes.
And I understand when some people feel iffy to say, well, we are not going to just take the look that they gave us from the beginning, that when you talk about a Black woman, it's only big and strong, and because that thing is exhausting. I don't think South African women said there, Winnie Mandela, we are multiplying. Let me tell you something. This gender-based violence has made us to say, wait a minute. In actual fact, we are not Mbogotos, we are not stones, because what happened to Winnie Mandela was not fun.
Right.
And she might have been resistant, but the whole thing is she didn't have to. And sometimes I feel we must also allow, I like the space that Black women are at now, where we need to be vulnerable and soft. We need it. And this whole thing of we are strong, and some of it is our fault, I will say, because we've been bragging about it for some years, but mostly it's because we subconsciously, we are a society that has been dealing with men that have not healed, women that are not healing. Everybody was not healing, but everybody wants to be healed by everybody. So for some time, Black women have become that strength, that healing in a relationship. But now you better heal yourself, okay? Because I ain't got no strength to be healing nobody. You see, I'm 42, I'm single, I'm comfortable now. I know I'm gonna get a divorcee and blah, blah, blah. It's okay, but let you be healed. Because sometimes it's hard out there in the streets to meet 40-year-olds who are still going through. You're like, brother.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Answer me this though. Let's talk about the healing for a minute. So let's go back to apartheid. Let's even say 1999. What was so when you saw your parents? Your of course your parents grew up in apartheid and everything. Talk to our listeners here and the ones in SA. How was apartheid in 1995 for you?
In 1995, because we voted in 1994.
Yes.
So I think South Africa, that's why we are happy people, because we've been celebrating since then.
Yes.
We actually need to go, wait a minute, let's look into our serious issues. That's why we are party people, because we grew up with parents and great-grandparents and great-grandmothers that have been telling us stories about apartheid. And most of the people felt it. I know what was happening. You know, I was young, but definitely I know I remember the moments when it was still alive. Well, we still have our issues. It's still kind of happening,
yes.
honestly. But in terms of it being a law, no blacks here, no what here, because my grandfather was working at the law firm, so to speak, like for governmental, what do you call it, at the courts.
Okay, good.
He was an administrator.
Got it.
Then, and we're talking the 50s and the 40s when my mom was growing up. So
that was a great job back then. So he was.
Oh yeah.
He was like the only black person around white folk.
He used to keep the alcohol in the blazer. You know what I'm saying? Looking like, and because and then he bought being white so that he can buy white alcohol. I know it sounds crazy. Black people couldn't buy spirits like your vodkas, your rums and stuff. And that backfired to white people, because when I was growing up and my mom had been married, when I was young, my mom was selling alcohol when I was born, around the 70s, and was selling African alcohol because white people wouldn't allow black people to drink alcohol.
What's African alcohol?
The Zulu beer, the one that we make with the wheat and stuff.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, the King Kong one.
Right.
We have it's like a milli-mill thing. We cook it, and then, you know, the next day you put some more. Literally, it looks like amarula, if you will. It's so creamy.
Oh.
Yeah,
nice.
And then some will be made with pineapples and such. But then, because they couldn't get licensing for alcohol, they couldn't go. So that's why the term Shebeen Queen started, because the women of the time decided, you know what, we can make beer. We don't have to have our men going out there and begging to have alcohol. We've been getting drunk on our own shit. So now that was very much popular. And when white people saw that this is happening, this is when they started to officially have that Zulu beer that is in the carton that is being sold.
Yes.
Because now I think the market was killing them. They were like, actually, we're wasting money here for not giving them an opportunity to drink with us. They can have their options. So when I was growing up, when mom was doing that, she used to go get arrested a lot. And my sister would go and bail her out. So apartheid in that sense, I know it. My sister, who's now less than 50, was the one who will go to jail and bail my mom, and because she wouldn't stop. She was like, I have 8 kids. Arrest me if you want. I'm selling this shit.
So your mama was the liquor lady for reals.
Oh, my mom is gangster for real. My mom is 75, still drives, and is running a tuck shop in the village. My mom is the coolest. My mom, damn, don't mess with. The whole thing that I have of me just being focused as a woman, I grew up in a very matriarchal family. My mom's family, they're 11 with only one brother. So, only 10 sisters. To a point where, her father didn't care whether they have friends that were guys, because it was like, I only have girls. How else will I have them to have friends? There's no way I'm going to control this. So that's how my mom hooked up with my dad. It's another story. They got each other.
Wait a minute, Celeste. Okay, I love that story. So let's even go back farther. When you were a little kid, I saw recently that maybe a couple months ago, you went back home. You went
Yeah,
home.
yeah, I
You
did.
was
In May.
farming. You was like,
I
I'm a
loved it.
proper Zulu. You was out there with the hoe. You was
Yeah,
like, I
hoe.
saw a whole different Celeste. Like, but you was so comfortable. Talk about when you were doing that as a child, let's say 11, 12 years old. When did you start thinking, I want more for myself? I want to be on like Generations. Like I want to. When did you start thinking
Listen,
like that?
I've always had bigger dreams. I guess number one, I must say my dad is an artist because my dad had a band.
Okay,
And I grew up in a very artistic and entrepreneurial family.
got it.
They were working for themselves, and my dad was a welder, but he was also a guitar player with the band. Although they didn't have much bookings, but they were rehearsing. So they were rehearsing. So every Sunday,
Your dad was a
literally, my
professional
house,
rehearser.
yeah. So every Sunday in my house was a jazz concert, really.
Nice.
Like literally since I was born. And the festive, which is Christmas and New Year's, we were there in the rural areas. I guess because I come from KZN, it was not a metropolite then. It was a government on its own. So you see, a government, the apartheid government created what you call Bantustans, which is Bantus, us, Black people, the natives,
Yeah.
will have their own space where the kings and the chiefs will rule, so to speak. So
Understood.
the government won't interfere a lot in those areas, in the outskirts, because they were busy building Johannesburg. So people who didn't want to be in Johannesburg, like my mom and my dad, were those rural to the core. My mom doesn't care about this COVID thing because it doesn't touch her. She's there in the forest. She's cool. She's like, don't come here in Joburg with that COVID. I'm here in my garden. I'm sorted. I'm breathing. I'm fine. And she's a nurse, so she knows this thing. So
I love it.
So
I love your
when
mom.
they were growing up, because there were too many of them, my grandmother was a nurse, decided everybody's going to be a nurse. So all of them are nurses, except for my aunt who was younger, and my two aunts, basically, they became teachers. But the other one became a teacher and then moved back to a nurse again. So I grew up in that kind of a family. So with that Bantustan, they didn't really interact with white people most of the time.
Okay.
They had their own ways of living. After my mom left being a nurse, they had their tuck shop, they were selling their booze, they were making their money within the community. So I grew up being a tuck shop baby, so they were not really reporting to a white man. They would buy their cars their own way. So in a certain way, funny enough, there was a sense of freedom in that structure.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Because there was no white man figure, like there's no white man. Like first time I saw a white man was at a tertiary. It's like, oh, okay, who are you? Because I didn't have to meet a white man.
Yeah.
My life from my first year until there was nothing that in my life that was forcing me to interact with other races. You know what I mean? And also I'm South African in South Africa as a native. So it felt as normal as it should be.
Absolutely.
Until you move to obviously as time goes on, they started to meddle with it because KZN has a lot of natural resources and the land and
Yes.
And funny enough, now there's a book that just came out that I just read about the new apartheid. It addresses those things, that we had those Bantustans and now the Bantustans are whitenized. It's white people now that have their own enclaved spaces because they don't want to interact, which is why Johannesburg seems so black. Meanwhile, it was the hub of the economy. They shifted the economy to Sandton, where now it's a new town. It's like a sort of a reverse, what you call it? When
we call it regentrification.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gentrification. It was a reverse gentrification. Now that they're no longer having their placards that say no, whites only here, blacks whatever only here, the economy is what is being used as a restructuring tool and also gentrification tool, if you will.
Why do you?
But for us, I don't think it's much of a gentrification. Our story is unique and different because
it's because
the whole land is ours. Let's start there.
Yes.
Yeah, we are majority. White people are foreigners. Yes, they are here now. They've been here for longer, but the land still belongs to the people.
Yes.
So the whole point was that you are not going to have your own things on your own way, and then we are not going to be able to be allowed access everywhere. Yes, now we have access everywhere, but everywhere you go, every money becomes the reason why there's certain things you can't do. You can go and buy your house at an estate, but you want slaughter.
So Celeste, answer me this. How hard was it to watch the looting and the crime and the stealing, and it's starting in KZN and they burning down warehouses and food that really was the communities, and even before it got to Joburg and everywhere else, Durban is such a huge port for Africa. It's one of the biggest ports in Africa. So when the food comes in, then it's dispersed throughout the other 9 provinces. How hard was that to watch? And tell me how your family was during that time.
It was hard to watch, but let me be honest with you. I was not shocked. It was bound to happen. I'm not saying it should have happened.
Right, I understand.
Arresting people.
It's a boiling point. It's a boiling point.
My point is, we are sitting in some fasting situations that we cannot ignore any longer. We can say it in English in our podcast and our ways of saying and discussing these issues.
Right.
Oh, wow, we are together. Let's look into this in this way. There is a fraction of a large number of Black people that have their views that are not heard.
Yes.
That are ignored in certain way. And that we can never ignore anymore. That situation was born out of that. If there were so many people who can have work, if there were so many people who couldn't justify it, because the thing was, the world saw South Africa losing stuff that most Black people in the township have lost already.
Ooh, that's good.
Only now that it touches the economy of the people that are in charge of the economy, now we are discussing. But Black people in this country have had that issue for long. So most people were like, if I'm not going to have it, let's not all have it. There are people who go without food for a week, without electricity, without water for months and months on end. So you can't tell a person that has nothing to lose, who has been trying to tell you that I have nothing to lose now. And then when they react, you want to discuss with them, it's too late.
White people is really funny because they start everything and then they be shocked and amazed that people is mad.
It's like, oh my God, how did this happen? How on earth? And I think we are the generation to be blamed because we're changing everything but racism. We're changing everything in this generation. We're changing literally human beings, but we don't change racism.
Ooh, that's good, Pastor.
We change everything. And with racism, we don't even need to go in much. Who is in charge of these constitutions? Who makes these laws? You know what I mean? And for some reason, people can talk all the big English and all the intellect. This one little thing. If we can say the world will stop now, because I said when we're celebrating our 27 years of freedom, the only freedom we have in this country so far is sexual freedom. The rest is nothing. Sexual freedom, yes. But who and where are we sleeping with no land?
Wow. And it's so confusing to us as Americans because we know South Africa, well, the whole continent of Africa, but let's just stay on the bottom tip. almost 60 million people, but only 7 million of them is Afrikaans. Like, we would have thought that, like, the white people in South Africa is the minority.
Proper. How African Americans are a minority They're extreme minority. And it's not even a margin. Like literally, they hold less than 10%, if not 20%.
Yeah.
At most, with all other people of other colors, because we are people of color somewhere else. Here we are natives, we are black. They are people of color. So we can't be people of color in our own space now. Don't tell me that. What color? You are the one with strange color, yeah. So in America, I'm a people of color, fine. Yeah, I'm black. They are the people of color, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I feel like we have a lot that hasn't been addressed, and it's been festering in so many people's, including mine. The things that we go through in this country are insane for us to go through, you know? And
for example, tell me, for example, tell me two things. I absolutely don't like load shedding. I'm gonna just say that because that doesn't have to be.
It's load shedding, it's opportunities, really. And I think maybe it's some conversation that we might have. Maybe we are not ready to have. That's why I said we are sexually free, because unless otherwise there's something sexual about you, then you're going to get paid. I feel like we are going ahead to the community or the society that only has sex to offer as something to sell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people have opportunities in vast. If I'm going to sell my body, if I'm going to twerk, if I'm going to stripper, or if I'm going to be on OnlyFans. But my worry is that there's other stuff that is so difficult to succeed in, you know, and this has been a societal problem because we've accepted certain things that we shouldn't accept and made them norms. And now when you talk, you must count your words because, oh my God, don't body shame, don't do this. But the point of the matter is there's a bunch of black, smart, beautiful women with great things to offer, with great things to teach the next generation of black women.
Yes.
Otherwise, we are doomed if we are going to be only be represented by someone. I'm not saying there's something wrong with people. Do what you want and do what you like. But as a race, I find it hard that we are the only race that seems to have people that has to do with sexual stuff, then we take them serious. My thing is like, surely there's someone who didn't come here and introduce themselves sexually before we listen to them. Because now we have a bunch of people that are moving out of the conversation. And it happens in the continent a lot, where you lose a lot of intellectual people because everyone else is just entertaining mediocre in the name of we need to be inclusive. Fine, we need to be inclusive, but in the absence of the best. You can't say to me, for example, a new comedian that just is trending because probably she's showing a nipple or abs or whatever the thing that makes have numbers. Now I must interact with this person, and this is what they do. Because like, okay, wait a minute, this person we have nothing in common with. I've been doing this since 2005. Right. When I'm saying I'm performing with GRIFF, when I say I'm going, because I'm doing comedy in Zulu and in English, I've done all sorts of stages and all sorts of stuff.
That's right.
There's a lot. It's respecting the craft. When I started acting, I realized that I'm a comedian amongst actors, and I had to listen and understand where they come from.
Yes.
Because there are people who only do this craft. There's no way you're going to take that for granted. And I feel like this over-sexualization of everything, I don't care what it is, be it bisexual, bisexual, whatever, women, men, everything as a race, I feel like we are doomed with this. Like, how much sex do we need as a race? How much quantity? Even God can ask us. Because, I mean, really, that's all we talk about. And I see it in America too. People are discussing sexual stuff. Meanwhile, we are burning and dying here. You can't even have a conversation. When the COVID happened, everyone else was done. We didn't know what to do. Chinese people knew what to do. White people knew what to do.
Indian people did.
Only black people didn't know what to do. Because while they were planning it, we were fucking. I'm sorry.
Celeste, you know what I love about you and why I love this show is because we're both comedians, and I guess they would have thought we'd have been in here laughing and roasting each other and talking about. But
well, that can happen. You started with the serious question.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna get to that. But we're also so very smart. And your English is pristine. Like, when did you know as a Zulu person from KZN that I need to know English all the way?
You
Because
know-
I know you got aunties and cousins. It's like English ish.
No, to be honest, our tongue, our languages makes our tongue so easy. My sister is married to a French guy, and they stayed in China at some point for 3 years.
Wow.
And now she stays in Senegal. In actual fact, 2 of my sisters are married to French guys. They speak French. They read in French. My other sister is a doctor in France.
Wow.
Who does anesthesia? What is it? Anesthesia, like for surgery.
Oh, wow.
In French, with like I can't do it myself. All I'm saying is they didn't go to school for it. My sister didn't go to school to learn Chinese and Mandarin. Like,
Wow.
when I go to Senegal and the husband has a meeting with the Chinese people, she's there, she knows everything. She literally speaks it. Like, I was shocked. And in South Africa, there's 11 official languages, well, except for the obvious English. So learning English has never been an issue because, number one, it was forced.
Okay, got it.
So at some point, you're going to be forced to do it, right? And you go to school and you learn this. And two, my dad didn't have an official education. Well, he did, in a sense that then the matric was equivalent of standard 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like early high school, they will be done.
Yeah.
You know, now there's extra 3 years of schooling that they didn't do.
Got it.
So, but I grew up with him having so much encyclopedias, and he subscribed to, what do you call this, Reader's Digest. I remember because we used to use a long drop toilet.
Oh, wow.
And those encyclopedias came in very handy. And I'm like, what is this? Eventually, the mind is the craziest thing. Because the first time you get into that long drop toilet at 7, you really can't read English. But I'm telling you, at 8, you are now able to read a paragraph by yourself. Not because they don't teach you at school, but to see the words now and again. You know, my brother was a pharmacist who read anything.
Damn, Celeste, everybody in your family is professional.
Listen, brah, I'm the last one to be successful. That's why they don't give a shit. In actual fact,
all
I
my
started to
aunties,
have my
I
stuff.
got
They were
11
like,
aunties.
finally.
Aunties, they nurses, anesthesiologists.
There's 8 of us in my family. My older sister is a chef. My older brother was an entrepreneur. A big brother was a big boss at the Petro SA, which is mobile.
Yeah.
That's a lot of oil stuff in Mossel Bay. And then my brother is a pharmacist. My other brother is a marketer. The other one is a black sheep. Then there's me. Then there's a sister who's a doctor. Then Fez is a designer. So
I love Fez, by the way.
Yeah.
You tell Fez as soon as she get them items, I'm pushing them on this side. As soon as COVID is over, we're going to have so much fun.
yeah, man, we need to move.
You and I have been talking about you coming to America, staying with me, and shooting in New York and Los Angeles, and just really having a base. And I really want to be the one. And this is what's awesome about God.
I'm coming.
I already know. And Fez is going to be right there with you. And this is what's awesome about God. Just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. We
Nah.
still gonna do everything that we talking about. We still going, we just got to make sure the rest of the world is ready and equipped for what we have. So let's go to, where were you exactly? Told you was going to be on ISABAYA.
I went in Durban. No, number one, I went to Durban for a show.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine called me while I was partying, like I was in it. It's like, listen, I forgot to tell you. Are you in Durban? He says, yeah, I'm still in Durban. Please make sure you go to these auditions. This is about like 10 p.m. and I'm getting sloshed. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to go. And the next day, I remember I woke up at 6 because of guilt, but the babalas, the hangover, was killing me. We call it babalas. I know you know. The hangover was killing me. The babalas was making it the things. And then I was like, okay, I must go. It's like you told me that I must go to the auditions. And I was like, okay, fine. Let me honor his word. I mean,
Right.
He's my friend. It's going to look bad if I don't show up. I showed up there. I'm telling you, I was finished. and I was rushing to go out and get me some cure for this hangover. So, so
you went there like, I'm gonna do this, but I gotta go to.
Yeah, I'm the first one. I don't even know. This is my first audition ever. So I'm like, audition. They're like, so where's your agent? I don't have an agent. So do you have a picture? No. They took a picture there. What do you do? I'm a comedian. Oh, really? Yeah. I think that interested them at some level. Because they started asking questions. And I left. And then I was still in Joburg. I was literally, this is my first day in Joburg. They called me once around November, and then January, again, I'm smoking my weed, I'm high. There's a phone call.
Getting toe up, this say style, toe up. Again.
I'm like, you know when like, hey, this call must finish now. I must go back to my pop mind. Anyway, they told me, listen, you got the part. I'm like, geez, but now I'm too high to, I'm cautious of how I'm screaming. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm like, and I was like, okay, fine. At least I got, because at that point, that moment, truly, I had moved to Joburg with no job.
Yeah.
And I was using my sister's faceless car. So when the year ended, I had to move or else renew the lease. But now the lease was taken under my friend's name.
Yeah.
I didn't have money. And I remember why I was smoking. So I was like, let me smoke. I'm here now. Around about like 10 o'clock, I'm busy in the morning. Now they're like, can you come in? And I'm telling you, the POM offices were like 30 minutes away. I could take a taxi and I'd be there. I was like, I'm still busy. Can I come at 4? I want the high to come down.
Yeah.
So they got there. They told me that this is what's happening. We got the part. I was like, really? I didn't go for a second audition, not third audition. And I asked them why. They were like, no. By the time we came back from Durban and we showed all the rushes, Desiree, the executive producer, was like, yeah, I don't care who you cast after her. She's the wife. Literally, that's how I got the job. I didn't know then all this time that they didn't call me because it was said from the word go. Like, so they didn't have to discuss me.
Yeah.
So that's why they called me in January to come and read with someone just to confirm my co-actress that I'm going to work with. And then when I saw, and at that time, my mind didn't click how big it was going to be until I got the email and I saw the cast members and the list and the fact that I'm character number 3. Literally, I'm the supporting lead, proper lead.
Proper lead, Celeste, proper lead.
You know what I mean? And I killed it. And now I'm back to myself. You see, now I'm doing my nails and things. I'm so happy with that. Because
did the character grow? Because I've probably watched a dozen episodes of it, especially just for you. And every time, and I know you guys do Zulu and then English and then more Zulu, and then you was like a proper, you know.
Yeah. I was playing a rural woman in a polygamous relationship and an older wife in a polygamous setup. That kind of opened up my eyes, though, because for me to play that, you know me, you know, ain't no polygamous thing happening there. But
I'm acting.
Come on, and you don't understand how many married men were hitting on me, thinking about that. Oh my God, that's one thing I didn't like about the show. For the
men walking up to you going, Sipo.
They thought I can handle this polygamous thing because they see it on TV.
Yeah,
like, you perfect one for the polygamous structure. I'm like, those are script lines. That's ain't me. So it was an eye opener because I had to sit down with a woman who is in that space. And with us going forward as African women, there are certain things that also, I'm not the one for polygamy, but I will tell you one thing, I do get it now. There's no one who is as forced, really. Well, there are those situations, but
we're not talking about that. Yeah,
most of the time women like to be in those relationships. And I think it's a conversation that as women, we might not be ready to talk about, because most women, as much as they say, I had to ask myself the same question. I don't like polygamy. But what is it in women, even the women with men, would like to know that other women like their men. And and it's like, well, that shouldn't excite you. You should be loving your person. And and also the whole thing of the side chick and the side this, the fact that in the Western society, that's normal. The threesomes are normal. In a polygamous setup, there's no threesome, so to speak. I don't know what they do at night, but culturally it shouldn't be.
Right.
Because everyone has their own houses.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I had to understand that, well, you living in the Western world where side chicks, you know, stripping, seeing other women naked, it's easy and it's normal. And this one is just a formalized structure.
I like that.
Where there's less nakedness, but more acknowledgement that you're my wife.
Wow.
And some women, like the woman I was playing, was in a polygamous relationship that she chose because she couldn't have kids. But she loves this man so much to let him have kids. And she saw it as an honor to share those kids as a parent. So there are dynamics that opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, I kind of understand those who get into this kind of setup. Because
who was your favorite person on the show that you, every time, like even when you wasn't on camera, you was just looking at them going, oh my God?
It was such a star-studded show. Let me start there.
I know.
Literally everyone was killing their roles proper. ISABAYA is going to go down in history as one of the shows.
Absolutely.
It's standing on its own. So that being said, lots of my female cast members were exceptional. I would say my sister wives were killing it, all of them. Iris, the one who's glamorous.
Yes,
you know,
I remember her.
Ayanda, the one who's next to me, who's younger, and Lerato, they were all killing it. Lerato was a cop and very like natural looking, ventures a bit into traditional stuff, but also she was a working woman. I like the dynamic that they brought, because I was a homebody, a homemaker, a matriarch, you know, the core of the whole family. And then there's a glamorous one, and then there was a working woman one, and there was one who was a mother and motherly and loved soft stuff. So I also, those dynamics of understanding that you have a sister wife and how do you react or interact with your sister wife.
Yes.
It was such an eye-opener too.
Man, Celeste, I let me tell you something. The first time, so we done got all serious. We done talked about KZN. We done talked about, you know, all your family members doing something except you. My question is, when I say Tebow Touch, tell me a Tebow Touch story that only you and him know. Tell me something that you're going to be like, oh, one time.
This is one thing crazy about Tebow Touch. Every time, I can't even go back and say, this is when we first met. Because every time I've known him, he's just been kind and amazing. We have a long conversation about work mostly. One thing I will say, I think though Tebow Touch lives a very open life, in a sense that people will know certain things about. He likes things proper. Like I don't think it's about him being an entertainer or no. I think even if he was a miner, he was working underground, he was gonna look dope. Like
agree.
I think that's one thing I could say. He likes life. He likes life. I don't have one thing in particular that he said to me that I think other people don't know, because his life is that open. But one thing that he said to me, I see an Oscar something on me. I was like, brother, thank you. So I like that he acknowledges my talent as much as I acknowledges his.
Yeah.
And also he's so active and involved in social setup and entertainment. Like he comes through, you know. whenever the society or Black people or the culture, there's something happening, definitely you're then going to have a comment, and like he cheers everyone on who's doing well. He is about opening Africa to the world, and us opening up the fact that we can do much more than within what we do in the country. So I think that's as far as I know, because I worked with his baby mama, Ntuli, mother of his child. Let me just say baby mama, because
we be trying to not say baby mama too here in the middle, but that's what you are.
I mean, I guess it's because it's got the connotations as if, you know what I mean? Like, so the son is also as crazy. I remember he came on set and he rapped for me, and I gave him $20 and he's like, okay, I'm coming back next week.
I know that's right. Celeste, I'm going to ask you this last question. I'm going to let you go. What kind of dude are you looking for real? Will you date an Afrikaans man? Have you met?
No. Let's stop that. I want a brother.
How about that?
Let's stop that. This whole thing of asking, no. It's a no on attraction. I've got brothers-in-laws that are white. They also know when I get in France, they must find me a Black man or forget about it. So, because there's no way.
Forget about it, you said.
Forget about it. So yes, I think American men are good for my feet because they're tall and big and dark and all of that.
I love it.
I'm into that West African men. I really like a kind man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think the most men that I can gel with is a kind man. If you're a kind person, you are kind to yourself. That means you fixed your stuff and you are honest, because kindness requires honesty. So if you're going to be kind, for me, we can work a lot because I talk too much, and also I talk because I have to, and also I'm a woman, but I share what I've seen with other great women.
Yes.
Nina's and Nina Simone, Winnie's and Maria Makeba's. I've seen the documentaries. I've understood that it's harder to navigate life when you're an intelligent woman. Not that I'm blowing my own horn, but I think...
No. I understand here too.
And I'm a sapiosexual. I like conversations. So, and also I'm a dreamer. Like, I wouldn't want, as much as I like to have a brother, and I understand that's one difficult thing that brothers might have an issue with me. I work. Like, I truly love it.
Straight up.
And I bring it on. So I always say, insecure, that's the thing. Men has made us being insecure, but it's all about them. It's all about us. It's about them. They are the ones that like this thing. It can't be a priority though. Because even if you give people, you give them, but they don't take too much. Like it's, you know, when you understand sex, you know what to do. Sometimes the one of anyone I would just stress. That's why you know you must get the number 14. No, you know these things. We don't say them. Because for us, we're having sex because we're thinking, how is this relationship going, you know? You test. This could be marriage.
That's my girl. That's all I'm going to say. That's my girl. 2 Trillion Thoughts, man. Celeste Ntuli. What a amazing soul. And when I tell you how big she is in South Africa, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thank God for the opportunities and the chance to be able to go over there and really suck in the culture and really be known with the people who are important to their country. It was a great show. I'm so hungry. For the last couple Thursdays, we've been running out, going straight to the movies. I think I saw Candyman last week, and I can't remember what we saw the week before. But we're going to go see the new Marvel movie that actually all the Friday movies that come out on Fridays, they actually come out on Thursday. What's up to my nephew Hasset? Always good seeing you. Please tell your mother I said hello. Everybody that stayed around, stuck around. Oh, yeah, I know you do. I smell it. I smell it in the kitchen. I can't wait to get off this thing and dive into some Lenika Fanay food. How about that? You guys have an amazing evening. What up, sis? All my family on here today. How you been, baby? Have an amazing evening. Spend time with your family. Trust the Lord. Trust the Lord. Trust the Lord. That's how I'm going to end it. I will see y'all. Let me see. What's next Thursday? Next Thursday is the kickoff of NFL football. How about that? I'll holler.
Hey, y'all hold up. I got to watch this right.
2 trillion thoughts, baby. Come on.